Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Smurfy and today we are playing Cycling in Historic. So you are probably familiar with this deck at this point. It's been in Standard and it is now in Historic as well. The deck revolves around the mechanic of cycling where you just are able to discard a lot of cards, and most of the cards in this deck have cycling for 1 mana. So if you've got 4 lands on turn 4, you can now cycle four cards. And when you've got things that become bigger from you cycling, or you deal your opponent damage, or you gain life, things like that, it can get out of hand really quickly. The main card that really brings it in for me is Zenithflare, which deals X damage to any target and you gain that much life, and X is equal to how many cycling cards are in your graveyard. So if you've cycled, I don't know, 10 times over the course of the game, which is very, very reasonable, or you've had creatures that die that have cycling and they've ended up in the graveyard, this just becomes a huge burn spell. And then you've got your early plays, which is the Fox, the Jackal, and the Stinger, and all those 3 are just revolved around getting in damage for a really low amount of mana. This kind of reminds me of Zoo, where instead of your Wild Nacatls, you've got stuff like the Fox and the Adept, and then instead of your Tribal Flames at the top, you've got a Zenithflare. Obviously the middle part where you're cycling is obviously drastically different, but it feels quite similar to me. I don't know why. But yeah, anyway, that is the deck. Let's get into some games. This is 1 white source away from being like a really good hand. Still good enough. We've got the 1-drops, or at least the red 1-drop that we can actually use. Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep this. Worst case scenario, turn 2, we cycle something, don't hit a land, and we just play the Forgotten Cave as a tapped land. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Ooh, what are they going to get rid of? Sure. And we draw the untapped land, nice. We are going to cycle this first, just in case we draw a white source that's untapped for the Fox, which we do. Play the 2 and play the Fox. And we'll just hit him for 2 here. Opponent's going to go into Dreadhorde Butcher. I can never remember how this works. When it deals combat damage to a player or a planeswalker, put 1/1 counter on it, and then when it dies, deal its power to any target. I guess we just take it. We probably don't want the Stinger in play, do we? Perhaps we do. It's just a bit slow, because then it enables our opponent to somehow sacrifice this to kill the Fox as well. Or we can just try and go really big with these 2 as quickly as possible. I don't know if they play Claim the Firstborn in this version. I know in some Jund decks and some red-black decks they play Claim the Firstborn, which would be able to steal either of these. I think we just want to go like full ham and just cycle loads as quickly as possible and just get this Fox really big. Kind of want to keep this over the other 2 because giving trample sometimes does come up. And haste as well, to be fair. But yeah, like if our opponent plays a bunch of things that make 1/1 tokens or 0/1 goats and that kind of shit, sometimes the trample does make a big difference. And it catches people off guard as well. A lot of people just don't remember that you can do that in this deck. That's the Stitcher's Supply. And the Scourge. Okay. Doesn't have trample. Just how much do we want to hit our opponent for? If we cycle 3 cards, get another land out of the 3 draws, and get to cycle again, that will put us up to 9 in the graveyard, and then all we need to do is get our Fox killed, and then our Zenithflare is lethal. So I think that's what we want to try and do. I don't really want to hit our opponent and get them down to like 3 or 4 and then them just to kill us on the swing back. So we're just going to look for an untapped land here. dear. Well, just gonna have to really hope we do get one from this. Okay, sweet. We'll pay the 2. So how does this one work exactly? Oh, it's the highest life totals. I see. It's not just like it's like Death Shadow. I think it's still fine to not attack. We don't have a huge incentive to attack, really. They've got a big creature on board. We've got a huge burn spell in hand. It doesn't get hit by Inquisition. And Thoughtseize isn't in the format, so the only way they'd be able to get rid of it is something like Duress, and I'm pretty sure their deck's not going to be playing Duress. Okay, so if they swing here, quite happy to let the Fox trade. What am I missing here? I guess a fling here would kill us. So they deal the 3 to the face. This goes up to 10-10, and then okay, no, they're just gonna kill our creature. Okay. The only way I could see that was if they had fling, and I'm pretty sure their deck doesn't play fling. It's unfortunate that we're one off killing them. We could cycle the Fox, and if we hit a land, we then have lethal. It'd have to be an untapped land, so it'd have to be the perfect draw, but that seems like a reasonable thing to start off with. Okay, yeah, that'll work. So we'll pay the 2, and assuming they don't have anything, this should just be lethal. Yeah, okay. That went too smoothly for my expectations. Sweet. I guess on to the next one. Turn 1 Fox, turn 2 Fox. Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep. I'm convinced this is probably one of the best turn 1s you can do in Historic, is the turn 1 Fox. Especially when you can go turn 2 Fox as well. We might as well play the Flameblade Adept here. And we'll just ding them for 1. That was incorrect, actually, in case we're against the mono blue deck and they play the 1/1 flyer with flash. We should have swung before we played those, but fortunately it didn't come up. So we can cycle this just to get it out of the hand, or we can cycle this and hope we draw more things to cycle. I think that's worth trying to do, because the deck is just going to go absolutely off if we can get these Foxes a little bit bigger quicker. Like every time we cycle, we're essentially gaining 3 damage, and that's just for this turn. And then these are going to hit for an extra 2. Yeah, sweet. Definitely worth it to risk it. I think even if it didn't pay off, it was still probably worth it. So our opponent could have like a Brazen Borrower and just bounce 1, I guess, is something that could happen. Rattle Chains. Okay, that does nothing here. It can chump block a Fox, which is fine. Or, well, it can't block the Adept because it's got Menace. So we're against Spirits, clearly. Mono blue Spirits. We're just going to keep cycling. And I specifically want to keep a Plains up in case they do bounce one of the Foxes. They're going to have to have something here. Oh, okay. Fortunately, we still have more to cycle. And that was really lucky that we drew the red version of that, so we could cycle that as well. Obviously the opponent... Oh, we're 1 damage off lethal. Well, obviously not actually lethal, they're going to chop block, but one damage off potential lethal. That could have gone sour if they took that, went down to 1, and then Archmage Charm the other fox. But actually no, that wouldn't even be that bad because we've still got the Stinger. Maybe they're not spirits. Like, you don't play Archmage's Charm in spirits, do you? Maybe you do. I don't think you do, but our opponent clearly does. So it gives itself hexproof. Okay. And we just cycle and Zenithflare them. That should just be game. Yeah, sweet. I have no idea what the hell that deck was. It was like a really slow version of Spirits, playing Archmage's Charm. Whatever the case, on to the next one. This hand looks sweet. We've got our turn 1 play, and we've got plenty of stuff to follow up with. Our opponent's gone down to 6 by the look of it. Oh, down to 5. That sucks. Whenever someone mulligans in Historic down to anything like 5 or 4 or something, I just assume they're playing the Tibalt deck, because the Tibalt's Trickery deck just aggressively mulligans for the combo. I think we are happy just to play the Stinger here. Oh, actually, is it worth just getting this up to 3/3? Because then it's really hard for them to to shock it if they're playing blue-red. It's in the blue-red like Izzet Phoenix deck. Most of their removal is 2 damage, not 3. So if we can get this up to 3 straight away, that should be really good. Yeah, as opposed to playing the Stinger, it essentially works out. It does the same damage, I think, because we'd be adding. I guess no, the Stinger probably would be more damage, but being a 3/3, I think is much more relevant. Whilst I would like to get a second Fox in play, I also really want to hit our 3rd land drop. No, I'm going to cycle first. Because every time that you miss a land drop... Oh, yeah, they are the Tibalt's Trickery deck. Every time that you miss land drops, you're just missing out on so much potential every single turn. Because one extra cycle is an extra counter, and that extra counter over 3 turns is 3 damage, so it makes a big difference. We do have the cast out if we draw an untapped land for depending on what they get. So they're going to Tibalt's Trickery in again. Oh, not again, that was the first time. What on earth is this? Deals 5 damage to any target. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, the rest at the bottom of your library. Okay. That could have gone significantly worse. This does have retrace, so they are just going to do it again. Oh, is that what they used originally? No, apparently there's more than one card that has discard to make a treasure token. Let's just go ahead and shock. Do we want to just keep cast out ready? And then if not, we just cycle a bunch. I guess at that point we are just banking on drawing the direct damage spell. Because we know they're pretty much guaranteed to be able to retrace this now, right? I guess they're not guaranteed. They'd need to have 2 lands in hand. One to play to be actually able to cast it again, and then one to pitch to use retrace. And we'll pass the turn here. I don't want to cycle this really until we know what they are gonna Yeah. Oh, okay. They just got another one. Fair enough. So there's the trickery. It always worries me what they're gonna hit into because I feel like these decks just have absolutely anything in them. Deal 4 damage. Tap 2 permanent to create a 4/4. Draw 2 cards. Sure, so we definitely want to cycle this now then. Well, there's the Zenith Flare. I guess we just swing and hope that they don't block. I don't know why they wouldn't block, but if they don't, it is just lethal with the Zenith Flare. Let's see what they do. So yeah, they are going to block. Is there any other way that we can get Zenith Flare up to 10? So if we just let the Fox die, that goes up to 8. Then play the land, cycle. No, it's only up to 9, so we're still one damage short. Well, if that's the case, we better just keep cycling. Pass the turn and see what they're up to again. They're just going to keep doing this by the look of it. Are they like more of a value version of this deck or something? Because I just saw it. Well, I guess I saw an Ulamog, so I guess not. And they just concede. I swear every time I play against this deck, it is just a different version of the same deck. Like, sometimes people just instantly hit some random huge green creature and kill me with a green creature, and then other times like it does nothing. I don't know. Whatever. We got the W. Let's go to the next one. This seems fine. We'll go ahead and keep this. Flameblade Adept was not one of the cards I originally thought of when this deck went into Historic, because I wanted to play in Historic as soon as I could, really. But I just never even thought of Flameblade Adept, but as soon as I saw it in people's lists, I was like, yeah, obviously that should be in the deck. That's fantastic. So really happy to play this card. I liked it in the mono red Hollowed One deck in Modern. I always thought it was a really cool card. I don't feel like it needed to have Menace to be good. I think it would have still been okay, but like the fact that it has Menace just makes it really handy to sneak in damage. And holy shit, if we just drawn all lands, that is not good news. We better draw something good. I mean, it's a good draw, but not without any cycling. Oh, sure, it's convert mana cost. Well, if that's the case, then I'm happy to play the Fox here, I think. They could have another removal spell. But we are shit out of luck if we draw another land. Okay, sweet. All down to RNGesus now. Should have played the red for that, not the white. Do we want another fox? Possibly. I don't think so. If our opponent's going to have counter spells, then a Zenith Flare off the top is not guaranteed to resolve. But alternatively, a 1/1 and a 2/2 aren't going to get much done anyway. I think we're just going to cycle. Yeah, we'll cycle this as well. I'm just going to bounce it. Okay. I mean, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, they're a rogue deck. I wasn't expecting that. I just assumed they were some sort of like blue-black control deck. But a rogue one is slightly different. What does this do now? As long as your opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, it becomes a 3/2. Okay. Are you kidding me? We've drawn another land that we can't cycle? Oh my god. We're not going to do anything this game. Our Zenith Flares are going to be boosted from all their rogues milling us, but other than that, this is not looking good. With any aggro or style combat deck like this, drawing this many lands is not going to be good, so it's okay. Happens to everyone. Just got to ride the wave of RNG, right? Another rogue. Very nice. They're going to mill us for 2 cards. One of those we wouldn't have minded. The Swearing Suns would have been good. Would have been really good, actually. What do these even do? Sacrifice it, draw a card, activate this only if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, and when it deals combat damage to a player, mill a card. Oh, so they actually don't want us to mill cards by the look of it. Which would be quite smart of them because of Zenith Flare. Yeah, I'm just not interested in getting rid of their 3/2. Here we go. If for whatever reason they let this hit, we are just going to Zenith Flare them to the face. Oh, and then they're going to sack it, draw a card. Okay. Sure. Oh my god, are they just going to... I thought for a second that they were going to give us an... Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? They just happened to do that at the perfect time? Oh my god. Then they're going to hit us for 8, putting us down to 4. I'm going to assume they have another creature in their hand as they're leaving the fox here. Just throw them out in. Okay, alright, fair enough. That is definitely GG from our opponent. On to the next one. Another turn 1 fox. We will keep this. These bolt sleeves seem to be really popular. I guess they look okay. I don't know. They don't do much for me, and I do love a good lightning bolt. They got Dovin. Is there a character emblem? That's pretty cool. I feel like you can tell a lot about someone from the style of stuff they use and what decks they go in. Like, to me, this person, it must be some sort of like Jeskai player. I'm not saying they're definitely playing Jeskai right now, but it suggests to me that they probably enjoy playing Jeskai control. What the fuck is that? Den of... If you control it. Oh, it's just a creature land. It's just got a really, really shit artwork. Like, that should not be on a Magic card. I'm all up for different artwork styles and stuff, but that's too much. That doesn't even look like a Magic card. I'm not a fan. We'll take one. I guess we cycle first. If we cycle first, we need to use the planes, really. I would ideally like to get this to a 3-3, but that's not going to happen right now. So we'll play the Adept here. Hit our opponent for 2. And just hope that they don't have a shock, because them killing the Fox would suck. Okay. Dragon's Rage Channeler, and there's the Pillar of Flame. Yeah, that sucks. The other option, and it's really, really risky, is to just not play the Adept and keep up our card in hand. And just completely bluff it. I kind of want to just Sweltering Suns here. And just like put the game to like a grinding halt. Our opponent's got Ox. Oh, they've only got 2 cards. Yeah, fuck it, let's we'll try and get in for 1. Give it a go. I mean, if they double block and we get to kill the oh yeah, they're just gonna take it. Okay. It might have been better to hold off for 1 extra turn. I'm not sure. Faithlessly. Okay, yeah, so they're probably not gonna. They're not like a traditional mono red aggro deck where they're gonna have 2 drops and 3 drops and stuff. Oh god, they've got the Phoenix as well. Holy shit! Maybe 1 extra turn would have been good. Too late for that now. Hopefully, we will just be allowed to keep ourselves in the game with the Zenith Flares. We are drawing like a champ. Oh my god. I'm just gonna keep going. So we can Zenith Flare our opponent's face and then just keep cycling after that, depending on how low they get us. I'm just concerned of how much damage they can pull out in 1 turn later on down the line. So it kind of makes me want to Zenith Flare a little bit early, just in case. I guess we can just do it at instant speed. As we can cycle and Zenith Flare instant speed, so just hold off and see what happens. Oh, all the synergies. They got Madness, they got Graveyard Recursion. Holy shit. See, the problem is here that even if we go face and we put them down to 11, there's no way that we're going to be able to cycle into another Zenith Flare and kill them next turn. So it would literally have to be, we have to top deck another Zenith Flare to just even stay alive, not even kill our opponent. So which to me suggests maybe we need to kill one of their creatures, and I really don't want to do that. Play that tapped and we'll just pass. So they've got 7, 8, 9. I guess they've even got lethal just with the Ragnarok Ruins here. Oh no, they don't. So we just take the damage and so if we kill if we use the Zenith Flare on one of the creatures, we'll go up a bit and then take 6. So we're essentially going to go back to 10. think we're going to have to. The other option is just to go face and hope they don't have any 1 damage burn spell. But that seems a little bit optimistic. Yeah, so they're going to kill in response so we don't gain the life. Smart on their end. And we just have to have a Zenith Flare off the top here. Because even if we draw a board wipe, they have a, where is it? They have a creature land here. And there's the Ox. Yeah, we are definitely going to need to draw something. That's not going to do it. Not that either. Yeah, we are just dead here. But I will draw the rest of the cards and just see what we... No. See, like, 9 isn't even going to be enough. Really well played by our opponent. Or, I don't know, it worked out well for them. I don't know if they actually played well. I couldn't see their hand.